Welcome back here on the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, and time to wrap up the season and really begin to look ahead to next year. An outstanding season for the Kansas City Chiefs, as from 2-14 to 11-5 in a postseason, a playoff. Always the end, very, very disappointing when it does come. We talked to the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is with us here in the program. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. I wish we were still getting ready to make the kingdom happy.
Yeah.
But there's only one happy team at the end of the year, and that'll be the Super Bowl winner, and that's what we're shooting for.
It is I don't know. I mean, I would think every playoff loss is difficult, but the way this one went down, does it make it more difficult? 10 times you've lost in the postseason.
Right. Yeah. The end is always difficult. It doesn't matter the way it's final, and so that result is always what it is. I didn't like the way this one ended. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that when you have a lead like that you lose the lead and don't win the game. I don't like that. But they all sting.
I'll talk a little bit more about the game here in a second, but going into the game, I mean, it's been 20 years. You know, the Bengals were facing this. It's been 23 years for the Bengals. Lions didn't get a chance. It's been 22 years for the Lions. It's a big theme here. I mean, you walked into this about a year ago. I was looking, it was pretty much a year ago this week that you walked into this situation. And I'm sure some people mentioned it, talked about it. But going into the week, do you feel extra pressure, even though you're only here a year, that it's been 20 years so many times, that it was Joe Montana versus Warren Moon with the late Jack Pardee on the other side, and a franchise that's not even in the town, in a building that doesn't even exist anymore?
I don't look at that. I don't. Myself personally,
right.
I mean, you asked me the question, and it's something that I relate to the player. It's not. It's about winning a championship. So that's a first step, and so that's the way you need to think. You go into a season, you're going to take every day as its own day, but you prepare yourself to win a championship, not a playoff game, but a championship, and then those things will come as we build this thing. And we'll get through that, whatever hurdle that is. We'll get through that hurdle and keep working towards that final goal.
So you did talk to the team about it, or no?
Well, I talked to them about winning a championship.
Right, but never about, hey, it's been a long time for this town and these fans.
No,
okay.
No, I don't.
They've got enough pressure and enough to worry about without.
You've got to focus. I go back. I keep it very simple. So you respect your opponent. And then you prepare for your opponent. You prepare yourself to play your best game every week. That's what you do for 16 weeks. If you do that right, then you have an opportunity possibly to go on. And then you do that same process.
Right.
Knowing that every game that you take a step up in the playoffs is going to be a little bit faster. But you focus in and you make sure that you eliminate the distractions and you concentrate on that game. That's how you go about it. My expectations and our players' expectations, our coaches' expectations are to win a championship. That's where you set your goal. Anything less than that, you're going to be sad again.
Right.
You're going to be sitting here. It doesn't matter if it was the first playoff game, second playoff championship. You're going to be sitting here sad unless you win that championship.
We're talking to Andy Reid here in the program. The game, 38-10, 45-44 when it's all said and done. A couple of moments in the game to go through. If you could give us some insight on what's going on for you. First of all, Jamal Charles goes down right away. The camera, boy, you're just play sheet, moving on. I mean, next man up. I know that's the mantra. Fans, there was oh man, boy, we're in trouble. This is a problem. Is it really that simple? Next man up, or is there a little bit of you that went, boy, things are different? I mean, I would think there's at least a little bit of a game plan shift. We got to go to a different part of the play sheet.
Yeah, you've been around this a long time, so you know this. But did we have with a great player, you're going to have a certain number of plays in for that player to exploit their talents.
Right.
And so we had those plays were in the game plan sheet, or on the game plan sheet. But the main thing you're concerned about is that kid when he's down there. Jamal Charles is a tough nut, very soft spoken, but he is a tough guy. So when you see a kid sprawled out right there, that's where your immediate concern comes is with him and that he's okay. And then you come back and then the next man moves in. I mean, it's literally that. And the coaches have prepared those players do it. That's how you go into a San Diego game and pull it off
right.
with the guys that played in that game. Now was ready to go. Now comes in. Now gets hurt. The Cyrus is ready to go, and then we have Deuce Dexter. He's ready to go also as a running back. So you have all those bases covered, which are important.
At what point and how does it work that the medical facility comes to you? One of the other coaches tells you, hey, they've checked him out and it's not going to happen. I mean, Jamal's not coming back. How long does that process take for you to get word?
When Jamal hit, I knew right there. This isn't. That's not good. I mean, like I said, he's a tough kid, and with head injuries, with concussions, the chances of a player that's not going to happen. The league and the doctors, the medical staffs throughout the National Football League have a protocol that they go through. Can I take you through each step? I can't. I mean, they have all the different tests they do. It's all happening behind me, not in front of me. So they take him through all the tests and make sure now a Jamal. A Flower. These guys are going to want to get back up and get in the game. I'm fine. A little smelling salts. I'm ready. No, we got to stick to the protocol.
And things have changed. That's a big change in how it is. So how was it? Is it a couple of? I mean, you already. It sounds like mentally you decided, hey, that's a concussion. We're probably planning on he's gone. But does it take 10 minutes, 20 minutes? I mean, how? 5 minutes or no? It's pretty quick, and they're like, okay, coach, plan on. We'll watch him. There's more to do, but the early returns are he's gone.
It's normally relatively quick. I mean, they've come through a couple. In that case, it happened right in front of our bench. You got to see it, and you know the kid, and you just know that you're moving on. Those plays that were in for him, you just scratch, and then you go to the next bunch of plays.
And you had to be impressed over the last couple of weeks and what you've seen out of Niall Davis. I mean, he was a real. He was a first-round talent athletically. He was in the third round because of injuries, because of putting the ball on the ground. We saw some of that, but in San Diego, the game against San Diego, and now this game, you got to feel good about your depth now at running back with the way he performed.
You know what? I'm proud of him for that. He came in with that reputation of being a fumbler. Sometimes that's hard to get over. I thought he did a good job. He had the one game against Indy where he coughed it up there a couple times, but up to that point, he'd done well, and then San Diego was great because he got to be the starter, and he got reps under his belt and hung on to the football when he was fresh, when he was tired. You got to see the whole thing. He learned how to be a kick returner. That wasn't something that he came to us doing. So Dave saw the potential in him. He worked his tail off, and you saw it at training camp, working on catching the kick after kick before practice, after practice, and he got himself to where he's a legitimate threat at doing that.
And do we have an update on where he is as far as his knee? Because he went down in that game.
He'll be fine. Yeah.
He's going to be fine? He's okay?
He's fine. That scared the heck out of him, but I think he's doing fine.
All right, we're talking to Andy Reid, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs here. Let's go. Obviously, then the offense takes off. You guys are doing very well, putting a lot of points on the board. Indianapolis starts making its run in the second half. In the third quarter, you took a timeout on a 3rd and 7. Great play to A.J. Jenkins. Obviously, it was an important third down. Momentum's going. You guys need to get things moving. I think most folks kind of figure out, okay, let's make sure we get this one right. We need to get it. You get it right, 27 yards, and then you have to turn around and do another timeout. We've seen a lot of times people say, hey, you get a big play, take some time to get everybody back, get up to the huddle, probably a lot of excitement, celebrating the big momentum. What happened with that series right there?
And then the look that we want. We did 2 of those. We did one at the 2-minute. We also did one there. I wanted to make sure that we got the guys that we saw the look. Actually, that look, Alex got up and goes, you know what? That's not exactly what we want. He put the timeout on, which was a good timeout.
Right.
At that time. But you save those timeouts where hopefully you can use them in the second or last series of the game. You save them as long as you possibly can. When a game's that close, it's not a bad time, if there's a question, to knock that out, especially when you have the field position.
All right, so then we come down to the 2-minute warning. You come out of the 2-minute warning, similar situation. Got to play, looking for a look, didn't get it, and I would assume the mindset is this is it. We're all in on this drive. This is the one.
Yeah, I really had a couple plays there
in
mind, and I wanted to get up, show them a formation. One of their things, I probably shouldn't tell you these secrets, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So
yeah, I appreciate that, Coach. I know it's just for me.
They have a tendency to back their their calls. I'll probably never see that again now that I'm telling you this, but to back their defensive calls on a timeout. So got up, showed it to them. They came back, ran the same thing.
Yeah.
We got our best guy, our best receiver on their third corner.
Right.
Man-to-man, bump and run situation. I'm going, this is a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work the way we hoped. Any of us players in.
By about, I don't know, 8-10 inches maybe. When
half a foot.
Yeah. Is that one of the things? I mean, that leads us towards Dwayne Bowe, who had a fantastic game. You know, he said before the game, hey, in big games, big game players step up, and he certainly did step up, which is kind of funny that he would say that because in the playoff game in 2010 against Baltimore, he got shut out, but he came to play from a yardage standpoint twice as well as he had at any point this year. I mean, 70 yards was his best. He has 150 in this one, a touchdown, almost another about 30-yard catch there at the end. You know, first of all, some people have been critical. You know, come back. When you score 44 points, probably shouldn't need another one there. We'll get to the defensive part of the equation here in a second. But does Dwayne Bowe have a responsibility? We've talked. I've asked you in some of those press conferences about some of the little things of the position. Is it his responsibility to make sure he's maybe a yard further inside so he doesn't get pushed out towards that boundary? Is that, you know, not to criticize the guy who made a great catch, great throw from Alex Smith, and a great catch just to do it and get feet down. I don't think people realize the athleticism and the skill that was involved in doing that. But if we are to really nitpick everything, does he have a little more responsibility to be a little further inside?
This is what Dwayne Bowe is one of the best slant runners in the National Football League. He also is a great fade ball catcher. So back shoulder fade ball catcher. And Dwayne's big and strong. You're not going to say that he's the fastest receiver in the National League. He's playing fast, but he's not the fastest receiver. So he's developed these skills. Well, he beat this kid clean off the ball.
Right.
And this kid's got some speed, and I'm not sure he realized how clean he actually beat him off the ball.
Well, even on the call, because I was watching the shortcut replay NFL Network was running, and I don't know if it was Mike Mayock or the other guy. Says he's there. I mean, you could see there was a reaction. It was
immediate. And so normally what you do is you climb back on top of it. You go out to practice and you see those red lines on the field that we have drawn. You kind of go back and you capture that red line. So the red line sits 4 to 5 yards off of the sideline. And you want to get right back on top of that son of a gun. If you beat somebody that fast, if not, you just fade it, and then the quarterback got you on your back shoulder. So he didn't realize how clean he got that thing. You know. And he bowed it out just a bit, just a little bit towards the sideline, and still had an opportunity. I mean, it was close. Half of his foot was in, half was out. So if he had to do it all over again, he'd probably get rid of it.
And look, you're not there without Dwayne Bowe all day. So I'm certainly not trying to say, hey, Dwayne Bowe, but he is kind of a riddle. I mean, this is the manager part of the game when you're the head coach and for your coaching staff is to try to maximize the abilities of a guy like Dwayne Bowe. Did it take 16 games to really figure out the riddle of Dwayne Bowe?
I probably could have done a little more sooner. One of the things about this offense is you've got to cover everybody. And that puts a lot of pressure on defense, as you saw kind of as we got in the last half of the season. You got a lot of viable threats on that team. You've got Fasano, who's healthy now, and Dex, who's a threat. The running backs are obviously threats. And Donnie Avery contributed. AJ was coming on and contributing. So Hemingway ended up being a nice player for us. So during the season, we spread around. Now we were chipping away a little bit at numbers, and Dwayne, his number got called, and well, I appreciate him. I think I told you this before. Dwayne is he's one of my favorite guys on our team. The way he handles the locker room, the way he handles the game. He, for being as good a player as he is, he's not selfish at all. People, I think, perceive him to be so. That's not the way he is. He's kind of a unique guy that way. He loves to play the game, and he plays a big boy game. So I mean, he's not out there tiptoeing with you. He's going to bring the wood to you if you're up on him and challenge him. And that I could have probably used him more early. That's not his fault.
Right.
That's how this offense kind of works and moves people around and uses it.
And the offense came together in the second half. I mean, it took off. I mean, I would think that you guys are that much further down the road for next year. I mean, part of that was just you getting to know your players, players getting to know you, the system, new quarterback. It wasn't just like the quarterback knew all the guys. I mean, there were a lot of moving parts that had to come together, and maybe the 9-0 kind of clouded people's judgment of how much was really going on in the type of progress you guys were trying to make during that time, and maybe progress still to be made. Is that possible?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I sat here with you almost a year ago,
yeah.
and one of the things you said, this team struggles to throw the football.
Yes.
Right? They struggle to throw the football. So I come in, I know we can run the football. We've got a great runner. But to win in this league, you've got to be able to do both. And so with the passing game, there's a timing and a practice time, a number of hours that you have to spend doing that. And the quarterback has to know the receiver like the back of his hand. And and that's all of them. That's not just one guy. And I thought you saw the progress right in front of our eyes. We saw that progress take place throughout the season, and that part was fun to watch. There's even more that we can capitalize on now that they've got a little feel for each other. There are things that we can that are in the offense that we can bring out and introduce to some teams that we play next year.
And the quarterback progressed. Alex Smith, he had career high in yards, career high in touchdowns, great TD to INT ratio. Didn't even play the last game. Could have tacked on even more numbers had he played against the Chargers and gotten some more snaps out there. More ceiling there for Alex Smith beyond what we've seen to this point?
No, well, absolutely. You saw him put up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but 400 some odd yards.
Yeah.
In that game, and
378, 4 and 0, which those numbers were better, have only been done by one other quarterback in the history of the playoffs.
Yeah. So you're into the stats. I don't get. Ted tries to coach me up on all that stuff, and I've got a stat. But
Kurt Warner's the other guy, by the way, who did. That's pretty good company.
Yep. No, Kurt's he's a good kid.
Yeah.
But Alex, it's a pleasure to be around. This is what he does. What great quarterbacks do. You're in the business where you make this station better, right? And you make people around you better.
We try.
No, where you're sitting as a quarterback when you're on that microphone. You're the quarterback of this thing. And so that's what great quarterbacks do. They make everybody around them better. And you just take the standard of play up another notch. And if you handle yourself the right way. So there's a kid that you got to kick out of the building. He's going to know everything about every position on the offensive side, know what everybody's supposed to do, and then most of all know what he's supposed to do with those people around him. And so those are hard to find. That's not every team has that. We're very fortunate to have them here in Kansas City.
So you can hear the positivity you have towards your quarterback, and here after working with him for a year. He's only got one more year on his deal. Now, I know I'm coming at you a couple days after the season just wrapped up. And, oh, by the way, in the midst of this, the Bears, my words, I can't figure out the deal they gave Jay Cutler. Good or bad, right or wrong, it moves the cost of quarterbacks, which was already quite prohibitive. It moves it up. I mean, in the back of your mind, are you thinking about where this goes? It is important because whatever it takes to keep your quarterback under center, the more it takes, the less you have for other things to put around him and on the other side of the ball. Did you scratch your head? I mean, did you say, wow, my guy just got more expensive when you see that deal come across from Cutler?
You know what? I checked myself out of that business.
Right.
I came here. I had to worry about all that stuff.
Sure.
In Philadelphia. John Dorsey now gets to worry about all that.
Did he come running down the hall going, my God, did you see what?
No, but I know that was.
Did Alex come running down the hall going, my God, did you see what just happened?
Alex is one of those guys. I was telling one of the coaches yesterday. Alex is one of those guys you could pay $500 million to, and he'd be the same guy. Right. He would never put you or him in that position to throw it in your face.
Right.
That's a big boy position.
Yeah.
Financially, and so they cost a lot, but they also pay high dividends back to your organization. So, but that'll be stuff that goes on down the road here. You're right. I haven't even looked at that or thought about that, but I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. That's part of my quarterbacking duties, right? We're talking to Andy Reid, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs here in the program. Defensively, the team where we talked about the offense making progress during the course of the season. As the season wore on, what were incredible numbers, record-setting pace numbers, started to go away, and it started to get really tough on the defensive side of the ball. Injuries clearly played a big part of that. A lot of guys, and particularly when your pass rush. We talked about the importance of a pass rush, and you said, hey, when it's time to go, you bring it, and you bring it hard, and the importance of getting to the quarterback. Is it as simple as that? That you had some injuries. The personnel's there. Everyone's got to get better each year in the offseason with your personnel and their decisions that have to be made with the cap and everything. But is it as simple as injuries, or fundamentally did some things break down that need to be fixed between now and 2014?
Well, it's a combination of things. It's that way on both sides of the ball and special teams. Everybody has to do their job, and for pressure to get there, you've got to have tight coverage. You've got to maintain tight coverage. You can't give up the big plays. We're lucky where we got to play. We had an opportunity to play some young kids in different positions in the secondary that will pay off for us as we go on here. They got great experience there, due somewhat to some injuries, but
right.
There are no excuses for that. But they kind of work hand in hand. You have to be able to pressure a throwing quarterback to allow a quarterback to come back on either 3 hitch and throw, or 3 plant and throw, or 5 plant or 5 hitch and throw, with just free access. You can't do that. You've got to make it tougher on them in the coverage part of it, and then you've got to win your one-on-one battles up front. And you don't want to lose anybody. You want to be able to replace, but we can do a better job in both those areas.
Okay, 2-14 to 11-5. We talked a lot about this, and I was impressed. A number of the fans even mentioned that in the frustration, and maybe it's because you guys played on Saturday and they had a whole Sunday to try to get their thoughts together, and we got a more rational response from the fans on Monday. But a lot of people acknowledged how much progress you guys did make in 1 year, and certainly, hopefully, there's great strides made the next year. Less than 24 hours after the game, you held your press conference out at the stadium, and you were asked, are your coaches going to be back, or will there be any change? I think it was, and you said no, there will be no changes. You were adamant. That was it. End of discussion. It seems like that would be a very quick review that happened, or you already had it in your mind. This is a thought process. Hey, you can't evaluate a guy until he's been there for 2 years. Till we, as much as we've got to do.
Sure.
How do you arrive?
Yeah.
At the conclusion that there will be no coaching changes that quickly after the season ends, and with the frustration of the way it ended?
Sure. Well, the one advantage I have is I'm with these guys all day, every day. So I get to evaluate them every day and watch them work every day. So I don't necessarily need, if I've got my mind made up on something like that, I can kind of give it to you now.
Right.
If I balk, then I'm going to need more time to go through it, or I've got to talk to the person that I'd be dealing with in that situation. So it doesn't matter the time. You ask about
right.
The first year, second. No, it doesn't matter about that. But it matters on what I feel, and
no matter what happened in that playoff game, there was not going to be changes to the staff. I mean, somebody may get, guys might get offered head coaching jobs.
I'm not going to say that. There's certain things that could have happened. Any game that you go, okay, you know what, you can't cross that line, boom, it's over. That type of thing. So you can't. There's no. It's a fluid thing.
Right.
It's day to day and week to week, and I happen to be with these guys day to day and week to week. So, I think, do we need to improve? Absolutely. I mean, we've got to get better. Starting with me, we've got to get better. But we're not shooting for just making the playoffs. We're trying to be the best. And that's what we're trying to do. And so we made good strides. When I sat here with you last year, it was kind of a bleak deal. Mm-hmm. And who knew that we would be in the playoffs? I mean, I don't think people met. I think people thought, well, maybe 8-8,
right?
Possibly.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of those deals. So, and that doesn't mean we're content with what happened. You can take this thing a couple different ways, as I sit with you today. So my thing is, people need to know, this year we were shooting to go win it all. obviously, we weren't good enough, and so we've got to improve as players and coaches. Hopefully, we've learned from this, so we can take that next step. And we know the workload that it takes to do it. We worked hard, but we can work harder and smarter, and we can as coaches and as players, and that will take place. That's starting now.
Right.
That's not like waiting till tomorrow. That's starting now, and let's understand the goal, and let's go get it.
To start now, you would need to get to the office, so we should probably let you get to your office. I will.
You know how much I enjoy doing this.
I do. It's and I would like to point out, you did want to come down here. What was it? Twice a week, I think you said. If we could set it up twice a week during the season,
That's right.
That would be great. And I appreciate that offer, but I think your time would be better spent in the office. So
you're the expert at this. I'm hanging on to your coat.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, final four for you, Coach. 4 quickies before I let you go. Did you watch last night's national championship, college football?
I did.
Yeah, took a little time. And relax. You are still a fan of the game.
Well, I was in the office,
right.
And I had a chance to. I was doing some things, cleaning some things up, and I had a chance to watch it. 2 good football teams play each other.
When you watch other teams, I mean, I think that's a great opportunity. It's not your team. You're not overanalyzing. To see the forest.
Watch the ball.
To see the trees, to see it all.
You watch the ball.
Yeah, yes, a little bit different. But do you watch and go? Oh, do you have a little notepad? You're sitting there scribbling things down and.
Well, this business you steal every once in a while. You
Sure.
borrow, I guess.
Yes, borrow. Yes, yeah.
But
Lease with an option to buy.
yeah, right, exactly.
Because if you win with it, then it was you.
That's
you,
right.
You did
put
it.
your name on it, and then you go with it.
Yeah, that's right. I like that.
Thank you, War Eagles, or
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Seminoles,
All right.
we got it.
All right. Very good. Do you enjoy going to the Senior Bowl? That's the next big event on the NFL calendar besides the playoff games that's coming around.
Soren, I am simple. I like being in the office. I like working, and then when I'm not there, I like being with my family. I'm that simple. So going to the Senior Bowl, I go there. The one thing I do enjoy about it, I don't enjoy the travel. Getting there is tough. They put a big body on a small plane in a seat where the person next to you is looking at you like, can you lose weight like really fast? So that part's not comfortable. Once you get there, I enjoy being around those players and getting to know them. And then it's just Dorsey and I that go. The coaching staff doesn't go. So it's Dorsey, the scouts, and myself. And I enjoy being with those guys and hearing their points of view on the different players.
There is a lot of camaraderie that comes around with the dinner time and seeing old friends and coaches. And is there a? I mean, don't let your family know that you might actually have a moment that's not just grinding it out work wise.
Yeah, you do eat well, and there's in Mobile there's some pretty good places to eat.
Okay.
You wished every year part of your goal of getting that championship is if you're playing in the Super Bowl,
you don't have to go.
The Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's
a reward.
There's a little bit a part of that you're okay being, but not really.
No, okay. Pro Bowl, keep it or blow it up. I think it's become farcical. I'm not sure what's going on this year.
The chances that I had to coach in it, the guys were competitive, most of all in the fourth quarter, but they kept it real in the first 3 quarters,
right.
And then they upped it for the money in the fourth quarter, and it was enjoyable. I had a great time at that. Again, it's one of those things. It's a little bit like the Senior Bowl. You wish you weren't there, but now I'm here.
Yeah.
Let's go win the game. It's turned into something different than that over the last few years, and I'm not real big on that. I don't know the answer.
Okay.
I think the NFL, the fans deserve to see the best players in the league play in an all-star game. I think that's kind of a neat deal.
Right. That's probably a good answer right there. Just leave it at that. If they play, they got to play. That caps. I think every fan would say that. If they're going to play Pro Bowl, that's great. If they're not playing, maybe we'll go another direction. All right, I'll take that for an answer. That's easy. Finally, are you going to watch the playoff games?
I'll watch them.
Yeah.
No, I'll watch them. I enjoy football.
Yeah.
And
it's not one of those I can't bear to watch.
That's I know. I wished I was there.
Right.
And feel like we should be there, and we let one get away. But I'll watch. just for the pure fact that I enjoy football.
Yeah. Yeah, and we will be watching with you then. Probably not in your office with you, where I assume you'll be probably sitting to watch the games.
Let's make that different.
Yeah, let's do it. Coach, congratulations. I know, like I said, it's sour right now. Always is, certainly when the season ends. But tremendous progress was made, and you brought a lot of pride back to Chiefs fans. A lot of spring in their steps, and a lot of great Sundays. A lot of great days and nights watching Chiefs football, and it was a fun season. Thank you so much for your time, and we're certainly all looking forward to next year.
All right, sir. Listen, I appreciate the fans too. They were phenomenal, and they deserve a championship.